to file a motion.
Processing inside of that judgment.
Proceedings. Judgment has been reserved. Then further processes.
Okay.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you? Fine, thank you. Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Mr. Maxwell.
Good morning. All of us is the bonus. Only a man does it. And this justice. So just say, one man.
Let me see.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
Yes.
All right, great Biafrans all over the world. Today, Nnamdi Kanu's court trial update is going zoom, but the reality is that today, James Omotosho has actually put a very stringent measures concerning the issue of media. Now, because of a lot of misinformation, one, I think that is valid, and also because of the fact that I don't know why the zoo government are scared of Biafrans getting the real informations, of Nnamdi Kanu's court trial. Because of that, James Omotosho, that is the presiding judge, has actually put a very strict measures on media. No media whatsoever. So information concerning Nnamdi Kanu's court trial might be coming very slow today. But because of we are in Expose News TV, one thing you can get, and other channels and other of our YouTube channel, Let's Talk and the rest, one thing you are sure of is that you will be getting all the updates of Nnamdi Kanu's court trial. But meanwhile, yes, after waiting for Nnamdi Kanu's court case to be announced, it has finally been announced. The case between Nnamdi Kanu and the federal government has currently commenced, with both legal teams introducing themselves. Shortly after, the fifth witness, named PWEEE, has been called in to the witness box for cross-examination. Now, there is a fifth witness. Yesterday was the fourth witness, witness PWDDD, I think so, yeah, DDD, where a witness who actually messed himself up and contradicted himself, just as the rest of them has been contradicting themselves. Now, the fifth witness against Nnamdi Kanu is currently in the witness box for cross-examination. However, due to the close monitoring of court attendance by some DSS officers present in court, unfortunately, live update from proceeding of cross-examination in chief of witness PWEEE will not be made available to the public at this moment. So we'll be giving you that information later on how the cross-examination goes, and finally how the court proceeding is going. Now, there is a stringent measures, like I said, and because of these, the DSS officers, this is what they like doing. Anything that is unlawful is something that gives them, that gives them all kind of joy. So the DSS have been deployed, inside the court to make sure that that live updates and proceedings, like live update medias, do not actually cover the event. So in other words, one thing we can say is that Nnamdi Kanu is currently having a secret trial again. Yes, because if you don't want the media to know, then it is a secret trial. See the one of Simon Ekpan Joko, you can see media, media, it is even being covered by their own, Finnish media. These things are on the internet, for anyone to watch. So I wonder why, the zoo continue to try as much as possible to make the case of Nnamdi Kanu a very secretive one. But nevertheless, one thing we can assure you is that we'll be giving you more and more information on the court proceeding. But meanwhile, let us leave you with, what to expect today in court as Nnamdi Kanu's court trial continues. Enjoy and make sure you share.
Therefore, the zoo has no jurisdiction. There is no court in the zoo that has the jurisdiction to try him. It is only a UK court will give a go-ahead order for them to try him, and Nnamdi Kanu must be present in the UK court, which the zoo cannot afford, because they know that if Nnamdi Kanu goes back to UK, no UK court will order for his extradition to the zoo because he has not committed any crime. You can't extradite an innocent man. No. Are you getting me? So it's going to be a long journey for them, because once they take him to UK, they're not going to start with whether he made the broadcast in UK or not, which is not a crime because the radio is registered in the UK. They are going to start with, first of all, with the extradition case, which may take even 20 years. After all, Abba Kyari is still in Nigeria. He has not been extradited to America. Tinubu is still in Nigeria. Even he has now become a president of Nigeria. He has not been extradited to America. So it can take even 50 years when you are still casing to extradite somebody, especially someone who is innocent. So the zoo is aware of the cost of making such mistake of taking Nnamdi Kanu to UK to obtain UK court authority to try him in the zoo. They removed it. They removed where the broadcast was made. They amended the charges and removed it when they had Nnamdi Kanu discussing with his lawyers of how he's going to defend himself. Right? So when the first POA, the first PWAAA, witness said that he was among the DSS members that arrested him in Golden Tulip, and the evidences they got was only microphone. That completely made caricature of every idiocy of the zoo government against Nnamdi Kanu. Only that first evidence has destroyed everything in the favor against the zoo and in the favor of Nnamdi Kanu. Are you paying attention? Now, the second witness. So why are you masking them? Why are you? You don't have to mask them anyway. The DSS thought the zoo, well, when Fulani Goro eaters are in charge, what else do you expect? So the witness are Mago Manazo, but this is just the headline. So now, according to the headline, which no instrument of terrorism found on Nnamdi Kanu, DSS witness tells court. So why are you then trying him? Since there is no any instrument of terrorism found on him, why have you kept him for the past 5 years? Plus another 2 years between 2015 and 2017. Why did you keep him? Why have you kept him? Why have you been suffering him? When remember the case is suffering, not suffering, the case is answering is terrorism and treasonable felony. I think they no longer talk about treason, because you cannot label me you cannot label me treasonable offense. You cannot label a treasonable offense against me when I am not planning to usurp the president. Yes, treasonable offense is when somebody tries to commit an act of treason by trying to forcefully remove the power that be, the ruling power, the president. As a matter of fact, the person who accused Nnamdi Kanu of treason is somebody who committed treason, which is Buhari. Buhari committed treason in 1983 by forcefully removing the democratically elected president, Shehu Shagari, and Alex Ekwueme. These are histories, things that happened. Yes, that is treasonable offense. And to make the matter worse, he also, after usurping the democratically elected government, which is pure treason, yet he didn't rule well. At least the reason why people are standing in solidarity or standing behind Traoré of Burkina Faso is because the whole world knows he committed treason. But he is transforming the country into a better, a better state, into becoming, for the citizens to, to realize that they are really human beings. Because under the management of whoever that was there, the democratic president of France in Burkina Faso, the people were living like animals, just as the way the zoo, the people in the zoo here are living like animals. No human being is living in the zoo. There is no any human being that is living in the zoo. Even if you like B.O.B. Cubana, if you like, after all, E-Money never expected to be arrested. He was arrested the other day. Somebody who claimed to be as big as E-Money was arrested. Obi Cubana can still be arrested anytime soon. The other idiot that called himself a Cubana chief priest was once arrested a few months ago. So anybody living in the zoo can never be considered as a human being. So Traoré is making the citizens to believe, to see and believe and understand the benefit of living as a human being, not living as an animal. So that's why his treasonable offense can be easily forgiven by the citizens. Easily forgiven. Now, the Buhari time committed treasonable offense against Shehu Shagari's government, yet he returned the zoo into the zoo. He returned Nigeria into the zoo that is meant to be. That's why he can never be forgiven. And this same person had the guts to accuse Mazi Nnamdi after committing an act of kidnap and extraordinary rendition in Kenya to Nigeria. He had the guts to label him, a terrorist and treasonable, felony. Now that one is gone. Nobody is talking about treason again because it is in the open that he has not committed any crime of treasonable offense. So they are talking about terrorism, and the DSS witness has shot them in the foot by saying that they did not find any instrument of terrorism. Why wouldn't you leave him immediately? They say PW1 further disclosed that he did not find any instrument of violence. I didn't see this one. Biafrans, we are winning. We are winning. We are winning. And remember, this is a certified witness of the DS. I hope they don't assassinate him once he's leaving the court. Because I believe that this person must be no. Maybe this one is an Igbo man. This one might be a Yoruba or no, not Yoruba. This one might be an Hausa man. This one might be an Hausa man. I wish we can see him to save. Let's continue first. He said PW1 further disclosed that he did not find any instrument of violence. It's no longer terrorism, but violence on the lady with Kanu, and did not consider her company as facilitating terrorism. Again, and Akukwaka here. This headline alone is okay for us to be happy. And Akukwaka, and I share this broadcast. And I share this broadcast. Obukwandi mmadụ na-ege ntị here. Ọ bụkwa ndị mmadụ nọ here na-ege ntị. Now let's continue. I will defeat you in your own court, said Mazi Nnamdi Kanu many years ago. Now, the trial of the embattled leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Nnamdi Kanu, resumed on Friday before Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, with the cross-examination of principal witness who said he did not find any instrument of terrorism on Kanu. The zoo is disappointed. Tinubu is disappointed that their own witness has shot them in the foot. So why did you call a witness? Excuse me. Why did you call a witness in the first place? The court had granted the request of the federal government for witnesses to testify behind the screens. Why the prosecution counsel is Adeboyoga Awomolo-san, a former Attorney General of the Federation. Kanu Agabi led the defense team. An operative of the Department of State Services, known simply as AAA, appeared as PW1. When AAA was asked if he was the officer conducting the interview in the video played in court, he said that 5 officers were in the room. That is not the question. And that he was one of them. Okay, fine. Very fantastic. So that means he is speaking out of experience, out of eyewitness. He was there. Not that he thought. Not that he thought. He's speaking out of experience based on what he knows. Now, he said his role in the investigation was limited to arresting the defendant, obtaining his statement, and escorting him to Abuja for onward investigation. On the items presented in court, AAA was asked if there was any which on the face of it was offensive, and he said no. This is the cross-examination. Remember, I told you on the 29th. Now I have a question. I told the so-called witness. Now I have I also told the second witness that it is better you withdraw, because this first witness will not be able to contain the questions that will be asked to him. Now, when asked if he had analyzed any of the items recovered from him, he said he analyzed only his phone. Oh, so unu welu phone ya? Unu sees the phone ya? And now let's continue. He said the phone was in evidence, though there was no analysis in evidence because they considered it immaterial to the case. Today I'm going to behave like a kid in order to mock the idiocy of the Zoological Republic of Animal Kingdom. Now, when asked, do you agree that in the 10 years since you confiscated these items, many of them have lost their use? AA said yes. AAA was asked whether there is a record of the items he claimed the DSS returned to the defendant. He said yes, but noted that he didn't personally keep the record. Oh, he lose go now. Today, Busorom Chia. Today, Busorom Chia. Iluzugo. Because I don't know, or I am not aware. In fact, in a simple term, ignorance of the law is not an excuse in the court of competent jurisdiction. Ignorance of law is never an excuse in the court of law. So if you say you didn't keep the record, he lose. So what else are you going to use to try him, the defendant? You have lost the case. The DSS, the zoo entirely have lost the case against Nnamdi Kanu. I don't think if the judge has any other thing to judge here, because the case is over. Now, PW1 further disclosed that he did not find any instrument of violence on the lady with Kanu. At least I am satisfied that Channels Television of all evil in the world is the one who made this, publication today. Few minutes ago, it just landed on my news desk. You see that there was no any evidence of violence on the lady with Kanu and did not consider her company as facilitating terrorism. So, moreover, this lady of 18 could be a hotel, attendant. Kifa na-akpọ ya ndị na-arụ ndị mmanya hotel, ndị na-arụ na hotel, ma ndị mmanya hotel, ndị na-arụ na hotel, ndị na-aserve guest. Kifa na-akpọ Fabuko. Kedu ife a na-akpọ ndị na-aserve na guest? I want to see the comment. Hotel attend? No, I don't think he's attendant. Kifa na-akpọ ndị na-aserve na hotel. No, kwa ndị na-ege m ntị here. Is my voice coming out? Is my voice coming out, please? What do you call hotel? I don't know if it's attendance or whatever. If I na ndị na-arụ na hotel, ndị na-abịa settle guest. Yeah, no dịkwa ka ndị itibọlịbụ ibe m na-ege m ntị. Ndị itibọlịbụ. Hotel waiters. Waiters, I think waiters ndị na-arụ na club. Ọ dịka ndị itibọlịbụ ibe m na-anara aga hotel bụ ndị na-ege m ntị. Waitress. Ndị na-amara anya hotel like me. Ndị ezigbo mmadụ. Chai! Ndị ezigbo mmadụ ibe m. Ọ dị ka ọfa na-ege m ntị here. Ndị ezigbo mmadụ ibe m na-anara aga na-enwere ifefa ji na. But many of you here are travelers. Of course, that one I know. I'm very sure about it. Because I know that people are coming. Room service. Amy Sammy said room service. I'm not sure it's waiters. Waiters are those who work in the club. That one I know. Hotel attendant. I'm not sure she's attendant because they use it for mortuary. Mortuary attendant. Okay. Room service. Fine. Let's use that one. I think that one is more better. Room service. Room service. So now the woman in question, I can beat my chest and say that the woman in question is a room service who works in that same hotel. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, what have I pressed? What have I clicked? Oh my God. Oh my God, just hold on, I'm going to bring it back. Somebody say reception. Now many reception bundi na receptionist. Bundi na reception. Ndị receive guests my but and when you arrive hotel, the first person you are going to meet after security is the receptionist. He's the one who is going to. Somebody said he's a hotelier and they are waitress. Anyway, I'm happy because we are winning the case. So whatever. Let me try and bring back the sorry, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me try and bring back yeah, here we come. Just a moment. I don't know what I pressed, and then